The other day they had a protest in Cincinnati on the Roebling Bridge over ICE detaining the chaplain at Children's Hospital. And I saw on the news a little bit last night, they're talking about his work visa, whatever, it had expired. You know, we don't work for ICE for immigration. Here's the point of this conversation. Here's the point of this. Make some comments on here. You know, because I keep seeing all these news breaking, people talking, and this guy that was punched by an officer of Covington police said he was brutally attacked and brutally beaten and everything. And I said, you're not bleeding, you're not scratched, you're not in a hospital, you can walk, you can talk, you resisted arrest. Where do you got a lawsuit and all that? Of course, you got some attorneys jumping all this because they always want to sue the police. I got friends that are attorneys, and we have a personal relationship, and then we have a professional relationship. Professionally, hey, you know, there's points, stand up for something too. Come on, lawyer, stand up for something what you believe in besides just making more money and putting your name in the front page of the paper. No, I didn't call the news. I didn't call the paper. I didn't call Lincoln, KY, Kent Hornbrook. Didn't call anybody. Maybe I should. Maybe I should go live, but be on TV, be on Fox News. But why? If you go to a protest and somebody's complaining about there's children in there and the officers during prisoner transport almost ran over and injured a woman and her child. Why is a woman and a child in the middle of the street? You got to be effing ridiculous. You know, people just think, oh, stand up, stop this stuff. Prisoners need to be transported, they need to be moved safely. All you're doing is causing more harm. Let me tell you something, I've done a lot of prisoner transports. I'm retired police, I worked in a prison, a max security prison, I was on the CERT team, the TAC squad, both. Did high risk transports. When you want to get in the street, you want to start something, you endanger that person's life in the back, and as soon as they move, I'm going to deal with the dude in the back the same as I'm going to deal with the dude that's outside in the street in front of me. You want a peaceful protest, stay on the freaking sidewalk with your signs and talk. Keep your kids at home. Do not bring babies and toddlers to a protest, you idiot woman. Don't bring your children to a protest and whine and cry. You know, F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You're going to find out when you stand in the middle of the street with a baby. Stop doing that. You are held, and I would charge you as a police officer with endangering that child by standing in the street in a protest. Take your kids in the street, get charged. That's how it happens. Guess what? You know, this isn't LA. It's not, you know, I'm in the greater Cincinnati area. I don't play around over here. We are not, like I said in the other video, we're not out west. We're not that way. We're not New York City. You're in a town where the police are going to get the business done. And the police are going to protect that child. They'll arrest that mother and put the child in protective custody until they find a family member. You want your kid to be in foster care overnight just because you want to go stand in front of a police moving van in a transport? Are you that stupid? You want your kid to be stuck in a foster parents? They are molesting kids and drugging kids. So you want to risk your child in a protest? You're a dumbass if you want to. I'm just going to say it outright. You know, I'm here. I always speak the truth on my videos. I always say what I want to say. Stand in the street. You want to block police. You want to interfere with the government procedure. Things are going to happen. You know, I remember way back when I got into the military in 1985. The first protest I went to was a nuclear protest outside of an Air Force base. I was in the Air Force. Security police. We were trained in riot control. They started blocking the gate, it had some problems. Word came down, people needed to get moved back out of the street. Now this is in 1985, a little bit after the 70s hippie age, which I'm old enough I can say hippie. So 1985, we got these it was 86. I went in 85 by the time I got through training and everything the following summer. And they wanted to move except for this little group, and the sergeant gave the command and we went forward and everybody moved but this woman, and she got that 36-inch oak baton strike. Knocked her out. I didn't do it. It was a couple guys down the line. But when they gave the commands, everybody did the same thing. You marched. You do this in riot control in the military. And I thought, man, that's pretty stupid of her. What point is she making to get knocked out? And, 1986, there was no cell phones, so there was no social media. She didn't get to be on TikTok or nothing. She was, I guess, hoping that some news show were on the paper, whatever. But what point do you prove? Just back up, get on the sidewalk when you want to have a discussion. This was a nuclear discussion, a nuclear protest. Stand on the sidewalk, you can talk across the street. You send people in, you have delegation, you send them to the White House, you take things the right way. You want to stand in the middle of the road? It's not how you protest. Somebody I'm not seeing any comments here. I don't know. I didn't mark this comments off. If you're making comments, I can't see them. I apologize for that. Thank you all for joining. Don't forget, hit subscribe button. I do have a podcast to keep an eye out for called Painting for PTSD. My brother is joining the podcast. He is a professor, teaches different things. Psychology is a part of it, but he is a expert stress physiologist with a bunch of certifications in that. And while he was going through getting his dual master, worked his way in college through counseling and juvenile. So you're going to see he spent his career as or teaching in college, 35 years in education now. I'm 58, he's a little bit older. I got 30 years in law enforcement community. So that's why I'm here, and that's what we're Painting for PTSD right here on YouTube. We don't have a designated set in time, being a professor, summaries, got all these conferences. We just did one about 10 days ago. It's called Looking in the Mirror, and it was a part 1 because there's so much to talk about. And I talked about what do I see when I look in the mirror, and I asked him as a brother, and then I asked him professionally what he saw. So we talked a little about protest, and this is a topic that's going to be on the next one for sure as we continue. How protests, mental, and I'm getting ready. I go in 2 days to schedule neck fusion, but I've had the brain doctor, the PhD brain doctor, and his PhD neurologist buddy diagnosing me with post-concussion syndrome and with PTSD, as well as many compressed nerves in my neck, severe damage in my neck right here. So, and then I got 2 hand surgeries coming. So you're going to see this be documented. And you're going to see and how surgery, how medication, how life-changing, altering things, how that's going to affect you. So that's great podcast. You'll see that coming here. Just hit the subscribe button. I post in the comments too as well on there. You'll see and you'll know it. But a protest. I wish Kentucky. I live in Kentucky side of Cincinnati. I started policing in 1992 after the military, and it was like 93 or 94 to have a big riot in Cincinnati, and the all call came out, and we were told, I worked in Boone County. I'm retired, and we were about 11 miles from the county line to the Cincinnati bridge. They told us so all the police lined up on the interstate. They put the all call, be on standby, was on duty. You could hear the radio, line up on the interstate. So we got Florence police and us Boone County guys, and we're lined up, and I was first one. And as soon as they said go, we was going to Cincinnati to deal with protesters. And then when that happened in 93 and 94, my riot gear right up here in the front seat. We were going there to clear the street, to protect people that needed protected, protect the property. If you was in the way, ass whooping was coming. You know what? Folks, we need to go back to old school law enforcement. We need to go back because we didn't have all of this murder and mayhem and this chaos 30, 40, and 50 years ago. We didn't have everybody lining up the streets for every time, somebody fell and got a scratch in the government, we better protest it. You're freaking ridiculous. You want to go out here and protest every scratch and bump and bruise in life. Life does come with some challenges. Face it, suck up to it. Okay, everybody in life goes through financial stuff. Everybody in life wrote a check that's bouncing, they had to pay a fee. Okay, so what? Is that a reason to go protest and go block people on the road? Amen. Thank you. Bex Elder, thank you. Amen. David, thanks for joining. We got to go back. Yeah, when I started police, we were the tough guy stuff. Gee, I was 130 pounds. Everybody wanted to fight with me at 130 pounds, and I whooped their ass. And within 2 years, I became an instructor, a baton instructor, OC instructor, fighting, ground fighting. This is before I even thought about UFC. We was fighting stuff on the ground. How to protect yourself, your guns, your weapons. It's crazy. These people out here are just plumb crazy. You know, I could talk for 4 hours on here. I do appreciate you coming, your comments there, Rex and David. I just needed to get out, just reading the news and take my son to college. He's got his permit. So I had to be his designated right-hand shotgun seater. He's doing great. And then back to the hospital. My wife has pancreatitis. Today is day 5. No improvement. She's got complex regional pain syndrome, nerve disease. Really, really difficult for her to get through this with IV to flush her pancreas out right now. So I'm back at the hospital. I'm gonna have to cut this short. If you're subscribing, you're gonna know when I'm back on. You're gonna know when I'm ranting and raving. God bless, please. Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Take it back. Thank you there. F that. Thanks for joining. F that. Hit the subscribe. F that. I got some great great stuff we're going to talk about in law enforcement corrections. Some things happen, you know, like I'm going to do a live here real soon in the next few days about, so the feds want to talk to Epstein's girlfriend. Gee, she's been literally and figuratively pumped for information. Ha ha ha. You get what I'm saying? She's already in prison for other stuff and for trafficking. Gee, she's somebody's husband and wife. She's been in there for several years. And I'm sure it's been got to, and she'll never say a word about Epstein and what's going on. Did you like that? She's been pumped for information. So now we want to go waste how many $1 million to get a little bit more? How many millions and millions and hundreds of millions are we going to spend dealing with this Epstein? Should have been dealt with in the first place. Now I am for, and this is a different topic, I am for charging Obama with treason. Can't find a parking space over here at the hospital. I am for that. Charge him for treason. Yep. Didn't like him, didn't vote for him, didn't want him in the first place. Didn't want him in the first place. Mama Bear Marianne, hi. Oh, hit the wrong button. Hi, thanks for joining. Yeah, y'all stay tuned. I got some great topics here. I need to help my wife in the hospital, but I've got some great topics. I drive, I pick him up, and you know, when I'm out, I still have some topics going on. Still got some laundry, animals at home to take care of, and do that, and then get right back to the hospital. Take care of her, take care of family, pets. Got some cats and dogs. Gotta get them, keep them going. You know, well, being responsible. Let me close with this. Well, we have 3 dogs and we have 4 cats. You know, we planned all 3 kids. You know why? Because we're responsible people. You plan it, you do it, you take care of it. Simple. You don't cry about it. You know, we made the babies, we've raised them, we take care of them. 2 of them are in the medical field and nursing, and then my son's in college, in a beauty college. He is the most talented hair and esthetician he knows everything about skin products. He can look at your face and tell you what you're using is wrong, it's dry, it's too oily, it's this and that. Chemistry wise, he knows all this. He's gonna do great. Yeah, proud of my children, proud of my family. And I go home, take care of the dogs, play with them, let them out, and do everything I need to do with them, and then I'll come back to the hospital. That's how life is. Yeah, I'm not too big for that spot. So thank you again for joining, everybody. I'm gonna sign out for now. This is Sergeant Beast Larson, the Beast, the one and only. If you check back here in a few minutes, I'll put a link to my apparel shirt, The Beast Sergeant Larson, over here, and my Painting for PTSD podcast shirts, hoodies, ball caps. I'll also put a link. I'm an influencer for body armor, Predator body armor, and I recently got, and you can see a video, I'll put a link to that in here too. I got the concealable 3A, so it stops firearms 9mm, 357, 44, and up to a 308 rifle. Very lightweight, 9 ounces, goes under your clothes, very flexible. You'll see in my video how you can wear it just under shirt, polo, dress shirt. People don't even know you got it on. Self-protection. This world is nuts. I don't have it on because I'm coming to the hospital, but I wear mine all the time. I got it. I'll put the link in there. You can sign up with your email then, 10% off. So it'll make it about $270, $280 range. I got mine in 4 bi-weekly payments using Zezzle. So I got mine on a holiday sale, which I think they're still having an extra holiday sale. So I got mine, I was paying $62 times 4. And I got personal protection, body armor. So check out that video. I'll put all the links in here. I'm just parking in the garage and I'll get upstairs and I'll put links in for you. See y'all soon. Be safe. Always know what's behind you. Always know who's around you. Pay attention to people's shirts. You know, veterans wear shirts. Certain people wear certain type of clothing to help. And you know they're going to be there to help you. Be safe and God bless.